let's move on to your third player to team fit that you absolutely love here.
So I don't think this one's going to be very popular, but it's one that I really like, and that's number 29, Detroit Lions, Marshawn Kneeland, the edge rusher from Western Michigan. I love this fit, and Kneeland feels like he's bitten a kneecap or two over his career. Is there a better chance Kneeland goes on day 2? Yeah, probably. So, but if you ask me my bold prediction for a player that could sneak into the first round, I'm going to say Marshawn Kneeland. And look, the Lions showed us last year, they have a very strict criteria for their draft board, right? And they don't really care how anybody else feels. So, Jack Campbell, take a linebacker, top 20. Jahmyr Gibbs, where they took him in the top 15. Like, they don't care. They have a very strong understanding of what they want to be, the culture fits that they want to add, and just the overall profile of the players they want. And I think that with Kneeland, I think he fits, and I think there's a good chance at pick 29, he could be one of their higher-rated guys and a player that I think Dan Campbell's going to be all on board with. They want to add depth to that defensive line, and with Kneeland, you have a guy that he looks the part. He's 6'3", 267, tested really well at the combine, 4.75 40-yard dash, 7.02 3-cone at almost 270 pounds is outstanding. And so you watch the tape, you see twitch, you see upfield burst, you see a guy that's still learning how to maybe piece together his pass rush attack, but he has the tools to do it. And if you're picking at 29, you're sacrificing a little bit of something, right? And you're not going to get the perfect player. Kneeland's one of those guys who's a little flawed, but if you bet on the things that he does well, his strengths as a player, I can see why the Lions might be really interested in him.
It feels like there's kind of not out of left field, but sort of a pick at the end of the first round every single year. Right. And the Lions also seem to specialize at, oh, wow, like, those type of picks. And the way Brad Holmes is feeling himself right now, I mean, that you get that guy in front of a mic, he's going to let you know,
point.
He's going to let you know that I've been right. He even said he and Dan Campbell went against the entire scouting department with the
scouts love that, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Great.
No.
That's good consensus building there for sure. But like, he's feeling himself. So this is a guy that he targets that, man, it just makes a lot of sense. Just kind of paint us the picture. Kneeland here playing across from a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, who sort of feels like the inverse of what you not that, Aiden's not a big time freak athlete himself, but a guy who's super technically strong and sort of refined there playing across from a guy like this. How do you think that pairing works out for that defense?
Yeah, I think that's ideally they'd love to find that guy that takes pressure off of Hutchinson, just gives them another guy off the edge that they can rely on to get consistent pressure. And with Kneeland, I come back to, because there's so many ways. It's the same thing with Byron Murphy. There's so many ways we can, really break these guys down into all these micro categories of they do this, they do that. At the end of the day, give me the guys that hate to be blocked. All right. And Kneeland, he's one of those guys. All right. Whether it's using his long arms, his hands are physical, they're violent, they're heavy, and he's explosive. And so he can push the pocket. He doesn't have the best bend necessarily. He's not that type of rusher, but he can work around blockers. And he has twitch through his frame. So whether he's going at you or around you, his best football has yet to happen. I mean, I think you can continue to coach him up. He actually was going to go to Colorado in the transfer portal, to be with Deion Sanders, and then they had a coaching change at Western Michigan, and the new coach was able to convince him to stay. Had a really good year, and if you've never seen Marshawn Kneeland before, watch the Eastern Michigan tape and watch him just take over that game. And obviously, it'll get a little tougher at the NFL level, but I think a lot of tools are there for him to really grow into a rotational role as a rookie, starter role after that, and then just be an impact guy for whoever drafts him.
Yeah, it feels like, again, the Lions have specialized in their best football is ahead of them, or like, guys that still have some upside to be mined. Feels like they've maximized those guys the last few years. So that makes a ton of sense for this specific pick. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got two skill position players to talk about on the other side. Two very exciting picks right after this.